Every few months, a story comes along that stops the entire internet in its tracks. People share it, screenshot it, argue about it, and laugh about it for days. And then the truth comes out, and suddenly everyone wants to know, how did so many people actually believe this? This is the story of the Florida man who claimed he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. A story so wild, so specific, and so perfectly ridiculous that it spread to millions of people before anyone stopped to ask whether any of it was actually real. And the answer, as it turns out, is that none of it was. Let us start with what the story actually said, because the details are what made this thing explode. According to a viral post that began circulating in early March 2026, a 33-year-old Florida man was discovered by deputies on the Sanibel Causeway in Lee County, Florida. He was barefoot, he was severely sunburned, he was soaking wet, and he was drawing something in the sand. When deputies approached him and asked what was going on, the man reportedly told them that he had been kidnapped by a pod of dolphins 3 days earlier and dragged underwater to a location approximately 40 feet below the surface. Down there, he claimed, the dolphins had an entire civilization, cities, towns, condo-style buildings, a full underwater community that apparently needed some human architectural input to reach its full potential. But that was not even the most specific detail. According to the post, the man explained that the dolphins communicated with him through a series of clicks that he eventually learned to interpret. The foreman of the entire underwater construction project was a dolphin the man had come to know by the name of Gerald. Gerald apparently was not someone you questioned. When asked how he managed to breathe underwater for 3 days straight, the man's reported answer was simple. Gerald handled that. I did not ask questions. You do not question Gerald. The post went on to say that after the project reached a satisfactory stage, the Dolphins released the man back to the surface, but Gerald made one thing very clear before letting him go. They would be back for Phase 2. The blueprint the man had drawn in the sand was described by the responding deputy as detailed enough to be concerning. It included zoning, a town square, a recreation center. The deputy, who had reportedly been with the sheriff's office for 11 years, said the blueprints were the part that got him. Now here's the question you were probably already asking. How on earth did millions of people share this story without immediately recognizing it as fiction? The answer is more interesting than you might think, and it tells us a lot about how the internet actually works in 2026. The post originated from a Facebook page called the Dude Humor Report. This page has a disclaimer right there in its bio that says it features satire and parody stories that are exaggerated and fictional, created for entertainment purposes only. The story was never presented as real news. It was clearly labeled as a joke. But what happened next is what always happens with viral content online. The post got shared and shared and shared again, and with every share, more and more people encountered it without any of the original context. To make things worse, the post was formatted to look like a legitimate news report. It included a fake mugshot with the Lee County Sheriff branding on it. It was structured like a real arrest story, and it was shared by accounts that presented it without any humor framing at all. By the time it hit mainstream social media feeds, a huge portion of the people seeing it had absolutely no idea it was satire. The post was shared more than 47,000 times on Facebook alone. It spread to Threads, Instagram, and Reddit. It even appeared in a screenshot that was designed to look like a post from a legitimate Detroit news station, though that account never posted anything of the sort. Eventually, the story got loud enough that the real Lee County Sheriff's Office felt compelled to respond. And to their credit, they handled it with exactly the right energy. They posted a statement on their official Facebook page that read, "While living in Lee County is paradise, we can confidently confirm the underwater real estate market has not been tapped into yet." They added that they had checked with their newly implemented underwater construction investigation team and that the Dolphins of the ocean deny any involvement. The disclaimer at the bottom of their post read simply, "No dolphins were harmed in the making of this rumor." The independent fact-checking site Snopes also investigated and confirmed the story was entirely fabricated. Multiple news organizations followed up. The story was dead, officially, completely, and thoroughly debunked. But here is what is actually worth paying attention to, because this story is funny on the surface, but it points to something much more serious underneath. We are living in a moment where the line between satire and misinformation has become dangerously thin. A joke account posts a ridiculous story with a disclaimer. The disclaimer gets stripped away in sharing. Millions of people encounter the story with no context. Some of them believe it, some of them share it further, and by the time the truth catches up, the false version has already traveled 10 times further than the correction ever will. The Dolphin story was harmless. Nobody got hurt, no reputations were destroyed. The worst thing that happened was that a lot of people felt a little embarrassed for believing it, even for a moment. But the same exact mechanics that made this story go viral, the fake mugshot, the official-looking formatting, the specific details designed to make fiction feel real, those same mechanics are used every single day to spread stories that are not harmless at all. Stories about real people, stories about real events, stories designed to make people angry, afraid, or divided. The Dolphin story is funny because it is obviously absurd once you stop and think about it. But the truth is, most people scrolling through social media are not stopping and thinking. They are reacting, they are sharing, they are passing along whatever made them feel something in the 3 seconds they gave it before moving to the next thing. The lesson here is not that people are stupid for sharing a dolphin kidnapping story. The lesson is that the system is designed to bypass your critical thinking before you even realize it is happening. And the only defense against that is slowing down, checking the source, and asking one simple question before you hit share. Is this actually real? If enough people started asking that question, Gerald and his whole underwater development project would never have made it past the first post.